Hi, Miss Salam.
Hello.
Thanks for taking the time to meet with me in order for us to have our pre-conference on the inquiry workshop that your children will be involved in. Um, you and I talked a little bit before about the expectations that we both have for the children. And I just can't tell you enough how much I really appreciate you helping me with this project. Um, the standards that we're going to cover, I pulled them pretty much from the pacing guide that the district provided. And if you want to take a moment and look at those, I really hope that we had a chance to start this a couple of weeks ago because it really went with your unit in talking about Americans that had an impact on democracy, and of course, African Americans were a part of that. And that's how you and your children came up with the idea about Frederick Douglass anyway. Um, but let's go over, I guess, some of the enduring understanding questions and some of the essential questions that are a part of that unit. Are you okay with that, with the enduring understanding?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Um, when I came into your classroom about a week ago, your children were talking about some other uh, famous Americans you want to share.
Yes, actually, what we ended up doing was a project geared towards completing our student treasure books. So
Uh-huh.
we decided, well, do we know enough about our history? So my students, they each chose a different African American, some of which chose some famous historians that we'd already talked about, and
Mm-hmm.
that was fine. But they had to research the historian.
Mm-hmm.
Then they had to do an outline as to finding out relevant information about that historian. Then they had to actually put it in a little report,
Yeah.
and then they had, along with their presentation of that report, they either did a body board to go with it. Some of them did posters
Mm-hmm.
to go along with it, or they had to dress in the characters um, from that
That
time
era,
period.
uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw some of those body boards and they were great. So when I saw all of that coming into your room, I'm like, this is going to be a great,
I was
great.
really impressed. I was. They did a
Super.
good job with that.
Good. All right. And Ms. Alam, you mentioned one of the things that I had thought that we could use for some of the student performances, that body board.
Yes.
Yeah, that is listed actually right there.
Yes.
Okay. And the student treasure book that you guys have already done.
Mhm.
But before we go into that even more, let's talk about some of the anchor text or the anchor text that I started looking at. There's one,
Mhm.
and there's another one, Frederick Douglass, and then there's this one.
Okay.
You want to take a minute and just sort of look and see what you thought, and I'll share some of my thoughts with you. I wasn't able to find a lot of anchor text that were, um, I guess your children could read independently.
Yes.
So I started trying to bring in text that had a lot of picture support, um, lots of captions and things like that that would make it a little bit simpler,
Yes,
you know,
because
for
that
them.
does tie in with our ELA as far as text features,
Mhm.
and they do like to do a lot of peer reading, so
Okay.
it does help.
Good, 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 good. Now, have you had a chance to look at this one?
But I do like that one.
Okay.
Because like I said, this one so far does reinforce text features that we're learning about in ELA.
Okay.
So, and they will be tested on table of contents, glossary, and
So that
index.
one's good.
So that's
Okay.
great. oh, now this one is very colorful, so they'll enjoy this one.
And
Yes.
well, I'm not gonna give you my thoughts yet. I'll let you finish looking.
Yes. And they're very, very interested in real photographs. So this one does
Super.
contain
Super.
a lot of that. So, I like it. And we also have studied text-to-text connections.
Mhm.
And so, as far as comparing and contrasting different texts on the same topic,
Okay.
so that'll work.
Great.
That works well.
Now, is it okay with you that we lean more towards this? Fantastic, because that's where I was kind of leaning
Yes.
myself. And for the same reason that you mentioned, lots of color. But I'm glad to know that you said that your children really enjoy those realistic photographs.
Yeah.
So this will be our anchor text. Now, one of the first things, and I think here it is. One of the first things that I came up with, Ms. Salam, was to do one of our first lessons incorporating a RAND chart. And you and I talked a little bit about RAND before,
Yes.
and this is what the contemporary chart looks like. But for our first graders, I wanted to use more pictures and make it a little bit more friendlier for them. Same information, but what do you think about this? And create, instead of each child doing an individual RAND chart, we're going to do a class RAND chart and have them use sticky notes for something that they were wondering. They would put their sticky note under here, and of course with each of those subtopics they would do the same. Are there any topics or subtopics that you think that we need to take out?
Well, actually, I guess what caught my eye first was the misconceptions topic, which I do like because along with our cafe, they're learning about expanding vocabulary.
Okay.
So I really like that.
Okay.
So
Okay, a new
actually, I like all
vocabulary.
of them.
All right, so we will use the what I think I know. We will use the yes, confirmed, I'm right. We will use the oops, and there's the misconceptions. We'll go with the new information I've learned and the wonderings that they have. And if you take a look at that poster or that bulletin board paper over there, that's the one that I'm gonna use, and as I said, we'll put the headings under that and use the sticky notes for your class.
And I like that because that matches well with my room. So hopefully I will be able to keep it.
Oh, yes, you can. Yes, you can.
And can I also comment again on the misconceptions? Another thing, this helps to reinforce that it's okay to make a mistake.
Absolutely.
You know, and you
Absolutely.
continue on, you press on, move forward. So I like that a lot.
Okay. That's something that we really need to continue teaching our children and to let them know that it's okay, as you said, to not be right, but we want them to at least put their thoughts out there and to at least try. Real good, real good. Well, Ms. Salam, I think that we've got a fairly good game plan, starting with the RAND chart, and I think for that first lesson, the only thing that I want to do with them is what I think I know. So we'll use this one with the sticky notes and let them tell me on that sticky what they think that they know about Frederick Douglass. And after they do that, I will share selected pages from this and give them a little bit more to think about. And we'll just do it in little increments until they get a lot of information. And one thing I wanted to mention also, you did provide that list of websites, video clips that we can use to help support what we pull from our anchor chart. And I think we're ready to get started.
Okay, great.
Thanks, Ms. Salam.
Thank you.
All right.
I enjoyed it.